Hi, everyone. I'm Matt Clark, research analyst with Money and Markets here with your weekly marijuana market update. Now, make sure you are subscribed to that YouTube channel. Get notified each and every time we put up a new video. Just make sure you click that subscribe button if you haven't already, and then mash that notification bell. You get notified every time we post up something new. Now, we also launched our new membership program as well, and it is going strong here on YouTube. Gives you exclusive access to even more cannabis market content, includes new videos, interviews with cannabis insiders, a live chat with me, as well as anything that might be going on with our cannabis watch list, which is still in the positive, by the way. So I do encourage you to check that out. Just click join on our YouTube homepage, and you can find out more about that. Now, today, I'm going to talk about this recent market dip and what it means for cannabis investors. Now, the month of September, if you've been paying any attention at all, has been particularly brutal for the stock market. In the first 13 days of trading, the first 13 trading days, rather, which would take us from September 1st to September 20th, the S&P 500 fell 3.7% amid investor worries about various things like the Delta variant of COVID-19, inflation rising, and the potential default of Chinese construction giant Evergrande, which appears to be fairly inevitable at this point. Now, the market did show some life after Monday's horrific sell-off, where the market dropped anywhere between 1.2 and 1.7%. But the dip has a profound impact on the cannabis market as well. Now, after a solid uptick in cannabis stocks, thanks to news that parts of the Safe Banking Act, which is the bill that will allow easier access to capital for cannabis companies, was attempted to be rolled into the National Defense Authorization Act, according to Marijuana Moment, cannabis stocks followed the rest of the market down. Now, basically, the Safe Banking Act was standalone. It failed in the House. It failed in the Senate in 2019, and it's back in the House again in 2021. But the author of that bill wants to roll it into the NDAA, which is the National Defense Authorization Act, which almost automatically gets passed each and every year. So the thought is that if you roll that into there, it will automatically pass as well without having to go through committee. Is that going to happen? Not really sure yet. But the cannabis market did suffer some downturn along with the rest of the market. The market correction could be viewed actually as a window for cannabis investors to basically sell off their gains realized earlier this year. But I think it opens the door for something else, and that is additional investment in cannabis stocks. Let me tell you why. Now, amid the longest bull market in recent history, several stocks across the board, cannabis included, raced to extremely high valuations. Now, I analyzed three valuation metrics: the price to book ratio, which is the comparison of a company's market cap to its book value. Then I also looked at forward price to earnings, which is dividing the current share price by the estimated future earnings per share. And then I looked at total enterprise divided by EBITDA, which is the earnings before tax, interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. These are all three kind of standard valuation metrics. They're not necessarily the strongest, they're not necessarily the weakest, but they are fairly standard across the board. And I looked at three publicly traded cannabis companies here in the U.S. I looked at Grow Generation Corporation, trades on the NASDAQ under GRWG, Tilray Incorporated, which trades on the NASDAQ under TLRY, and Hydrofarm Holdings Group Incorporated, trades on the NASDAQ under HYFM. I compared them from May 1, 2021 to September 20th of 2021. Now, first, I took a look at the price to book values. All three companies started this period with very strong P to BV metrics. Both Tilray, which is the green line in the chart I'm showing you here, and Grow Generation, which is the red line, saw increases in their ratio later in the testing period. However, all three saw rapid drops. Tilray dropped in July, while Grow Generation and Hydrofarm fell in the middle of August. Grow Generation had a high ratio of 8.29 in July, but that fell 48.3% to just 4.28 as of September 20th. Hydrofarm went from a high of 9.85 in May to 3.13 in September. That's a 68% drop. And then Tilray had a high ratio of 5.72 in July and is now trading at a ratio of around 1.12, which is an 80.4% decline. Now, I also looked at forward price to earnings. Now, because of their acquisition of Afria, Tilray is taken out of here because there's really not enough data for forward calculations here. So we'd look at Hydrofarm and Grow Generation. Hydrofarm, which is the red line on this particular chart, opened the period trading with a 125.21 forward P to E ratio. That has fallen to 33.03. That's a decline of nearly 74%. Grow Generation, which is the blue line, reached a high ratio of 88.94 in July, but is now trading at a forward PE ratio of 47.45. That's a drop of almost 47%. Now, finally, we look at the total enterprise value compared to EBITDA. This is another popular metric to look at valuation of companies, especially when you're comparing companies in a similar sector. It doesn't really necessarily work when you're comparing a tech company with an ag company, but it does work when you're comparing companies that are of similar nature. Now, again, we take out Tilray because there's not enough data here to calculate with the pro forma company following the Afria merger. But GrowGeneration, which is the blue line, started the period with a high TEV to EBITDA ratio of 150.52 in May. This means its total enterprise value is trading at 150% its EBITDA in May. Now the stock is trading at a ratio of 37.72. That's a 75% drop from its period high. Hydrofarm also started the period with a high ratio of 132.03. That ratio has now fallen to 53.41. That's a drop of 60% off the period high. Now, none of this really suggests that cannabis stocks have reached a point of being undervalued. However, these changes in valuation ratios do tell me that cannabis stocks are becoming more valuable investments. Another thing to consider here is that the growth metrics for many cannabis companies show future growth coming. Aaron Gray, who's an analyst with Alliance Global Partners, recently projected that GrowGeneration's total revenues would reach about $648 million in 2022. That's a 35% increase over its projected 2021 revenues. Kevin Merrick, an analyst with Deutsche Bank, provided guidance that Hydrofarm's net sales growth would be between 45 and 50% for 2021. And he suggested year-over-year sales growth for the company would be around 30% in 2022. So you have a decline in valuation metrics coupled with projected total revenue increases for the future. The drop in share price suggests investors are really still struggling with the lack of action on the part of Congress to implement any significant cannabis reform or to deschedule cannabis or decriminalize cannabis on the federal level. However, analysts suggest the recent drop could be good entry points here into the cannabis market as revenue projections suggest growth is on the horizon. Now, remember here, our strategy is to buy high and sell higher. So while cannabis stocks are on a dip, it would be preferred here for me to see a confirmed uptrend before jumping into the sector. But with prices falling, buying on that uptrend will still give you solid value as well as the potential for stronger profits in the cannabis market. Now, if you do have a question about a cannabis stock or the market, you can just email me, or maybe you want to comment on my thoughts here. Email me at feedback@moneyandmarkets.com. We'll flash that email address down below here. Or you can comment below here on YouTube. You can send us a question or a video of you asking your question or testimonial. And if we use it, we're going to get you some free Money and Markets gear, including hats. I think we've got some sweatshirts and some t-shirts that we're working on as well. We're going to get all that squared away and get that to you. All you have to do is just send us an email with your question or feedback or testimonial to feedback@moneymarkets.com. I do finally encourage you to join our free membership program on YouTube. I provide weekly updates about stocks on our watch list, along with exclusive videos, it includes interviews with cannabis insiders and the like. Just click the join button down below on our YouTube channel and find out how you can hear more about what you get by joining this membership program. We also have blog posts about cannabis investing and so much more. We're going to be adding some more stuff to it as well. We're thinking of maybe going outside the cannabis sector to other sectors to branch off to. So stay tuned. We're going to have more information on that as my team and I sit down and work out what that all means. Now, we had another live chat on YouTube a couple of weeks ago. It went great. I appreciate everyone who joined in. We're planning our next event coming up, so check back here on YouTube to find out more about that. Follow me on Twitter as well. I give you even more insights, not just in the cannabis market, but the broader market in general. You can follow me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is Invest with Matt C. That's Invest with Matt C on Twitter. Thank you to all of you who watch our videos each and every week. We do it because we want to bring you the best insights into not just cannabis, but broader investing that we can to help bolster your portfolio, even in dip times like we're in right now. If you do have a cannabis stock you'd like me to look at, email me feedback@moneyandmarkets.com. Also check out the mothership, that is moneyandmarkets.com. Each and every day, we provide you content that is safe, sound, smart, simple investment information to help bolster your profits in your portfolio. I'm Matt Clark, research analyst for Money and Markets, host of the weekly marijuana market update. Until next time, everyone, safe trading.